Welcome to the Mundus Fractura Lore Guide. This week on Lore Guide, we will take a look at the family of aberrants, known as Paluda. Paluda, also known as Tumorkin and Chib, are a specific classification of aberrant that are known to parallel or mimic, arguably poorly, the quote-unquote normal or natural life forms of Mundus. It should be noted that Paluda are not directly related to the aberrant mimic species. You know, those pesky little beasties that disguise themselves as treasure chests, laying in wait to gobble up tasty adventurers. Unlike the mimic aberrant genus, Tumorkins are a vast variety of aberrant creatures whose forms have become a twisted parallel of the naturally occurring life forms of Mundus Fractura. The great archives and most casual encounters describe Paluda as tumor versions of life, hence the Tumorkin moniker, a fetid alien mind's take on what a given creature looks like. All manner of creatures are known to be represented in the Paluda aberrant genus: mammals, reptiles, birds, invertebrates, plants, fungi, and even some of the demonic extraplanar forms from the plains of Nirvana are represented among the Paluda. Tumorkin, regardless of form, representation, all share several key features. Each has been described as having a particular fatty or tumorous roundness. Their bodies, regardless of assemblage, all have a soft, fleshy form, each clad in smooth, generally clammy flesh, with a texture and feel reminiscent to that of a newborn human child. All forms are devoid of hair, fur, feather, filament, mycelium, or leaf. Any simulation of such structures are instead mimicked, often poorly, in flesh. All Paluda have exaggerated, snaggled, malformed, or deformed teeth, even if the form for which the Tumorkin is an emulant of had none. Tumorkin also have either small beady eyes or overly large bulbous eyes. In either case, the eye structure of the Paluda has a large pitch-black pupil and iris combo that covers approximately 90% of the eye's visible surface, with the white sclera forming only a sliver on the fringes. All Paluda have an internal skeletal system, but the internal fleshy anatomy of the species is the stuff of nightmares. Though each individual's internal configuration is unique, all are composed not of recognizable organ structures, but rather a chaotic pulsing swirl of flesh, filth tubes, tendrils, and trypophobia-inducing tumor-like masses. Beyond these few core traits, Tumorkin forms vary wildly, echoing the known forms of Mundus, a reflection of life as seen in the slimy gliss on the surface of an abattoir's rendering vat. Chubby, malformed birds with fleshy wings, Tumorkin quarry with leaves of teeth, ranks of Chib ogre, somehow stupider and uglier than the real thing. For all of their alien forms and dark mirror of the natural world, some Paluda are actually considered cute. The ranks of the Paluda or Chib dinosaur are considered by most to be adorable, though it should be noted that they are still deadly and should be avoided. The origins of Tumorkin on Mundus are thought to be due to psionic mishap, though I can find no concrete evidence to back up this hypothesis. Today, the Paluda genus and their countless forms can be found across the planet, generally loathed and shunned by the world's natural flora and fauna due to their invasive nature. They only truly thrive in the lands known as Rotnandi. Tumorkin reproduction is a complicated issue. At times it can mimic the creatures which each form parallel. Some Paluda have been found interbreeding with the natural forms of the planet. It is further known that all members of the genus can reproduce asexually. Regardless of how these aberrants replicate, they all result in a protoform offspring known as tumors or polyps. These small, fleshy, tentacled and toothed nuggets grow over the course of from days up to a full mundus year. Like strange, deformed, writhing, lumpy, fleshy bags, the polyps stealthily schluppen through their environments, feeding on any biomatter that they can fit into their orifices, growing and internally metamorphosing until their final form bursts forth from their placental proto-prison, which they then promptly eat. The genus is widely considered to be of limited intelligence, even when a tumerkin is of a traditionally sentient or intelligent form. They universally are seen to add nothing to the world. They consume, but their excretions are highly toxic to the natural life forms of Mundus. Further, when they do finally die or are killed, their carcasses are equally hazardous. If not for the fungal life of Mundus fractura's ability to process their foul leavings and festering corpses, the world would surely have been subsumed by their toxic putrefaction within short order of their appearance on the planet. Interestingly, Paluda seem to all excrete some type of pheromone, which corporeal Odaudia, the undead of the planet, are nearly irresistibly attracted to. Even sentient Odaudia struggle to resist the urge to feed upon tumerkin, and in turn, tumerkin have an irresistible urge to feed upon the undead, even if the Paluda is naturally a herbivore. The result of such encounters is very situational. If an Odaudia encounters a Paluda, any Odaudia who participates in consuming the flesh of the chib will slowly decay over the course of a day into a pile of Paluda fecal matter. Should the aberrant overpower and consume Odaudia flesh, they, in turn, will become undead. Paluda Odaudia are known to relentlessly seek non-tumerkin living flesh and are able to smell it from vast distances. With a genus as diverse as the ranks of the Paluda, it is exceedingly difficult to give a full scope in this brief overview. Be sure there will be future lore guides on the topic, but that is all for this time. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for future lore guides, and thank you for listening. Goodbye for now.